Welcome to the empowering world of the Ladies Who Lead podcast, where brave souls share their remarkable journeys of venturing beyond their comfort zones to craft lives filled with passion and purpose. My guest today is Eva Vennari, and she's the founder of the Elevate Institute. It's really interesting. Stay tuned because she will talk about how her ex-husband had like 13 different drugs on the table, and she really stresses to challenge the status quo of just continuously taking more and more medications for the rest of your life. It's a really interesting interview. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Hi, welcome to the Ladies Who Lead podcast. Today I'm honored to have Eva Vennari as my guest. She is the founder of the Elevate Institute. She's an international speaker, best-selling author, holistic practitioner. Eva endured doctor visits during her 20s for over 30 symptoms that they could not cure. She developed a healing protocol that reversed her own chronic illness. So she took her own life in her own hands there. This encouraged her to open the Elevate Institute to help other women in business to optimize their health and energy with true holistic healing. I am stealing a quote from her that we talked about and she gave me, and it is fantastic. Stagnation is the signal to the body to prepare for the end of life. Expansion, learning, gratitude, and self-love reverses aging. So thank you, Eva, for that quote, and welcome to the Ladies Who Lead podcast.
Thank you for letting me be here. I'm so excited.
So your work combines both science, common sense habit changes, and also a focus on self-love. What experience or who in your life influenced you to delve into helping others have a more healthier life?
An experience from childhood, you say? That's what,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So as a child, I still remember that as being a natural part of me. So maybe it's written on my DNA. I don't know, but it is. It's carried with me. I've always had a belief that never been exposed to by anybody in the Western world, but it's very Eastern, right? If you give your body what it needs, it can heal itself. And I have to say that's been my guiding light and North Star.
Your hope from since childhood. And I know you gave me a story about a specific crystal of some kind that a woman gave you when you were small.
Yeah, there was a little roundabout story to get to it. Sometimes spirit likes to wake me up to say it's time to learn something new. And so it'll be the middle of the night. And there's a tip for you. In the middle of the night, if you wake up and why am I awake? You get stressed about it. Just get up and see what it is that you're thinking of. It could be spirit trying to get you to pay attention to something. So anyways, last night there was a desire to learn more about Gnosticism, and one of the tools for protection was to use lapis lazuli. And I recall as a child under the age of 10, a family friend gifted me. She had just come back from India, and so there was this beautiful pendant of an elephant with all of this gold leaf on it. And it was made of this particular stone. That stone is known for opening up the third eye. So this was an invitation for expansion and for spirituality. And I think that was just a nod from whoever to say, this is part of your journey. Embrace it.
Wow. And it took a lot of us in our late years to even identify or understand about crystals and where they come from the earth and the energy of the earth. So that was at a young age that you were introduced to that. That's really cool. So before you became this head of the Elevate Institute and a natural and holistic healer, what did you do for a living? What was your career?
Very, very, very hodgepodge. They'll seem completely unrelated to anybody looking in from the outside. So for the first 10 years of my career in corporate America, I was in information technology. Worked with computers, could put them together, could program them, network them, whatever was required. Systems are seems to be also something in my DNA, systems. So that was 10 years, very analytical, very technical. And then I went from the new age into the stone age, and I got an opportunity to work in construction for 16 years as what's called an architectural rep. So natural stone was my area of expertise. Talk about crystals. All natural stone is comprised of some level of crystalline, and the energy was I fell in love with it. I don't know if you've ever looked at a piece of natural stone, but it's
Mhm.
mesmerizing to me. It's God's artwork. And so I got to go to those two extremes. And very interestingly to me, those two extremes, the very technical and the very analytical, married very well with this interior design within me that was appreciative of the energy from natural stone. And that's what I get to put together today in my work now.
Makes total sense. I mean, I would say that because we're ladies who leap, so we're talking about leaping into something new, but it still was a leap. You were working for people for those, 20 some
Uh,
odd years, and then you jumped into having your own focus. But it came from also your own personal health journey. And I
yeah.
mentioned it a little bit in the bio. Can you give us a little bit, talk more about that journey?
Yeah. Also, at a young age, I had problems that doctors could not figure out. And I mean, like 9 years old, very itchy skin, very itchy to the point, not casual itchy skin. We're talking an urge all the time to itch, to scratch, and blood coming up under the fingernails when I wake up in the morning because I'm scratching in my sleep. And doctors didn't know. They were, oh, we don't know what's wrong with you. We think maybe you have an infection of some kind. Here's some ointment to put on it, which never worked. So that progressed. And what I didn't know that I do now is that for me, it was a nutritional imbalance, basically a copper toxicity that was sitting in the layers of my skin, causing that itch, the inflammation. And left untreated, it progressed itself into chronic fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fibromyalgia, itchy skin was part of that. The hypothyroidism that a lot of people have, and they just like, oh, I take a pill every day. Well, how about we fix it? So there's all these different things that are related to that one. The itchy skin was the first. It was the first little marker. I had to pay attention to that. So that's where it started. And the not being okay with, we don't know what's wrong. It kept me going. We don't know, was their answer.
And
I
that's
said,
not
okay,
uncommon
I'll find
too.
it.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I mean I believe also in the very connection of mind and body because what I do is I work with the unconscious mind and a lot of times when you clear something in the unconscious mind, negative thought and limiting belief, it will actually also have an effect on your body. In because we spoke about medications and your ex-husband's health journey. And before you talk about what you do now, that had an impact also on what you're doing now. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I remember when, that little spot next to the sink in the kitchen, we used to put our phones there. It was a little 24-inch by 24-inch piece of area, real estate on the countertop. Well, he used to fill it with all of his prescriptions, the whole area. That's how many prescriptions he was on. And when we divorced, I just remember thinking, that's a lot of prescriptions. Nobody should be on prescriptions to that degree. I don't care how old you are. I don't think that's normal. Um, or it's just common. That's what it's become. Like you said, it's just become a common thing. So for him, it was 12 years after the divorce that he passed away from a heart attack, being on 17 medications. And can I just say, he was in the hospital being treated for chronic kidney stones. And they gave him something intravenously to calm him down so they could put him through some sort of something to break up, like an ultrasound to break up the stones. And he reported, I don't feel so good, according to our daughter who was there at the hospital with him. I don't feel so good. And the nurses told him, go back to your room. You're fine. And they found him unable to resuscitate. So he was 45 years old.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It's, yeah, it really is a tragedy. And for me to reverse my own chronic illness naturally without medications, having gone through that cycle of just not giving up, the phone call from our daughter at the hospital saying, Dad's passed away, he's gone, was that spiritual tap on the shoulder that other people need to know they have an alternative.
Mm.
It's one thing to take a medication for a traumatic incident. You need something to stop a symptom right now so the body can heal. Fine. If a doctor's telling you you've got to be on medication your whole life, question it, please.
Yeah, and then you see these commercials for medication, which I truly believe that they should be outlawed again because they were
They
outlawed
should.
when we were kids. It
Yeah.
says, oh, and if you have, and here's side effects. So you know that if you take one drug and it causes another big side effect, and then they've even got commercials saying, well, if you get this side effect from this drug, we'll take this drug. And so that's how you
Yeah.
end up with 14 or 15 drugs. I mean, it's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. At some point, you have to say to yourself, no, I don't want all those symptoms, and I don't want to keep leading to more and more medication. It's not good for the body. So, as the founder of the Elevate Institute, from what I understand, it's a cutting edge, true holistic health practitioner firm, and it specializes in empowering overburdened adults to take charge of their body, just like you've been talking about, their decisions and their energy. How do you do that? And where did your research go to figure this all out? There's a lot of story in there, I'm sure.
It's been an evolution. It started with me being so stubborn, up at 3 o'clock in the morning, unwilling to take on medication, and putting in every single symptom I had, and finding a very obscure article describing this is what your body will feel like if you're burdened with these types of toxins. Well, it turns out that the earth is full of all these toxins, but what keeps us from absorbing and utilizing them in our body is a nutritious diet and a regulated nervous system, not overburdening ourselves with working too hard or stressing out over every little thing. And when you have your single mom raising two kids, a full-time job, you're responsible for everything. Your ex-husband just passed away. Like there, when do you self-regulate? So for me, yeah, it was just becoming more and more and more severe with the situation. And uh, the description said, look, there's a way out. There's a way out. We can regulate your body, your immune system. We can get you so that your hormones are functioning properly, so that you're digesting properly, so that you can feel calm inside instead of always, oh my God, when is the other shoe going to drop type anxiety, and get your full night's sleep, as well as develop your intuition. And this was the way forward. I recognize myself in this article. I'm going to find the practitioner and call them in the morning and start with them and just tell them I'm your next client. And I did that. And and so it was that starting. It was put one foot in front of the other. I started with the minerals, got those under control. And then that led to emotional healings, which then led to dealing with grief that I hadn't been able to deal with in a very long time, creating a high level of anxiety and stress in the body. So it's one thing, it really is one layer at a time. And that's how it started. It was that article at 3 o'clock in the morning I found.
Wow. I mean, you really live the getting up in the middle of the night and saying, okay, the universe or the higher power is trying to tell you you need to research something. That's
Yep.
amazing. And from there, how did you create a whole institute and everything around that? And I will ask, because I do like to ask women, we can always ask for help. Was there
Yeah.
anyone that supported you or helped you through this process too?
Well, it's funny that you ask, is there any one? It wasn't one person. It was the right person in the right order, in the right time that happened to show up, being able to give me the little piece that was next.
Mm.
And as if you're an entrepreneur, you know, you're not just creating a service. You're not just going on podcasts. You're now creating one for yourself. You've got to get your website together. You have to, maybe you're going to go on television. Maybe you're going to write a book, and maybe you're like all of these things. Maybe you're going to start doing retreats. All of these things developed out of where do I find the people who need my help the most? What's going to appeal to them? And I just kept asking those questions. What's going to appeal to those who need a break, who need a reset, who, have a desire to feel better, but don't know what that path is? Well, I know what it is. And for me, it was this one foot in front of the other. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now I'm a manufacturer of the practitioner's choice near infrared sauna panels, and I ship them all over the world. And that's just a portion of what I do.
Yeah, I want you to explain that because you use several different kind of methods. And I think, what is it? It encompasses, I think I see here like 9 methods or something that you're educated to use, because I was reading
Yeah.
all of the methods, and so I was going to say, what is your first step in working with a new client? Because you've got a lot of
Yeah.
different things that you can do with them. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you're evaluating them in some way when you first meet
Yeah.
them.
Well, it's an intake. I'm asking them questions, and I do that for free. I get on the phone with them, and it takes me a few minutes. What is the history? What have you tried? What's going on with you? What are your ideal? What's your ideal? What is your envision? A lot of people, when you ask them, what's your ideal health? Have you thought about what you want out of your body? And most people are just like, I just want to be symptom free. Did you know you could have so much more? And so I will talk to them about how the energy could provide to them in other ways that they didn't even know existed. And sometimes people are very, very attracted to the spiritual work. And that's where they find me. Maybe they've got a ghost in their house, and maybe they've got an issue with an ancestor who left them something that is now causing problems in their own family. And so we'll start there. But inevitably, energy runs on the mineral content of your body. And so my job is to make sure that the body's fortified, that the minerals are working right, that you're able to run energy through your body so that you can heal and work at your highest potential. And those sound like pretty words, but that's the truth of it. How the body runs its energy is on a mineral content. Imagine if you got a favorite recipe, and it's handed down generation from generation, and you can't find one of the ingredients. You can make it, but you have to use a replacement, and it's not going to taste the same. So the same thing happens with the body. It's got a recipe that we're supposed to be made up of. This is our mineral preferred content. And if the body cannot find that preferred mineral in your diet, in your water, in the air you breathe around you, it will use whatever is highly available. Lots of toxins, lots of plastics, lots of things that are chemicals that the body will use, just like your car uses a spare tire.
Mm.
Yeah, and so we end up
And
with a
it won't,
body
you
that
won't
does.
drive, or you won't be as good as you could
That's
be.
it.
You won't be
That's
in that
it.
optimal, yeah, because of that spare tire,
Yeah.
you're going to be, kind of hobbling along. How do you
Yeah.
measure the minerals in someone's body? What do you do?
Hair. So I take a little bit of hair from the head, and we can see, I lovingly call it your trash report. This is everything your body has taken in, your food, your water, your air, even what sits against your skin all day long that didn't wash out in the laundry. It all goes into the body. We don't think about those things, do we? And so as your body makes more cells are created, the leftover gets spit out into the soft tissue. That's your hair and your nails. So we can see what's going on with your metabolism, your hormone levels, how well you are getting rid of toxins. And by the way, most people are not getting rid of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can see what's going on with the immune system, your digestive system. The list is long. I can see quite a few things by looking at the hair. And it's not about what's too high or too low on the test individually. It's the relationship of all those minerals together. That's what matters.
And we'll be right back. You show up for everyone. You hold it all together, but when it comes to advocating for you, confidence suddenly disappears and you stop prioritizing your well being. Sound familiar? I'm Lisa, emotional transformation coach with Ladies Who Leap Coaching. And I can take 20 minutes instead of 20 years to remove the negative inner chatter and bring you to a place of deep self love and emotional freedom. My Power Leap Breakthrough program changes everything: better jobs, loving relationships, and a deep reconnection to yourself. If something in you knows it's time to change how you live your life, then let's talk. Go to ladieswholeap.com, click on the Let's Connect button, and leap into the woman you truly are. Now, back to the show. And you learned all of this about minerals through your own research?
No, I took a certification course. Once I
Mm.
realized that the mineral balancing was working for me and I wasn't just, you know how when you try a new diet or you try a new supplement and you feel better for a little bit, and then you either start to feel worse or you rubber band snap back to something like long before you started that you don't recognize. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have started that new thing. So when I started this work, the mineral work, I noticed that I wasn't just getting a little bit better while doing it. I was completely healing issues one at a time. They were just disappearing. They're going away.
You didn't itch,
And that
obviously, anymore. No.
no, that and I gotta say that near infrared sauna panel, I made my own, the first one I made, and I started using it and it healed my skin. Within 6 months, I was healed of the skin itching that I'd been plagued with my whole life.
So describe that. Describe that. And you called it a sauna panel?
Sauna panel,
Sauna
yeah.
panel.
So
Yeah.
rather than it's not the whole sauna enclosure like you would see at a gym or at a hotel, or maybe you have your own infrared sauna, or you go to a chiropractor and they've got the little infrared and you go in there for a little while and you come out and they manipulate. Okay, so this is yet a different kind. It's near infrared. Smaller. It's meant for one person at a time, and it's a light therapy. So the lights are very hot, but they're not as hot as an infrared. So you're getting up to maybe 115 to 120 degrees. And
Interesting.
so when you sit in front of these lights, not only is it mood enhancing because that your eyes are collecting all of that beautiful, the red, the yellow, and the orange light waves, and it's very mood enhancing. It's also relaxing for the body, and you start to just sweat out toxins, which is what happened for me. I got rid of all of that copper. Yeah.
That's fascinating. And the fact that you created this, you created it.
I
Or did
invented,
somebody, yeah.
yeah, so somebody created the template, if you will, and I just improved. I stood on the shoulders of a giant, and this was what I did, and made it better and accessible. So I now call it the practitioner's choice sauna, and it is. It's referred by a lot of practitioners all over the world. People come to me, and I make them. I physically get out my power tools and cut up some wood and create
I
these sauna
love it.
panels.
I love it. And I know when we met, there was one kind of sitting behind you, and I
Yeah.
was like, and it wasn't that big. I mean, it was
No.
just for a single person. You're
Yeah.
standing inside of it or sitting or
Well, yeah, so you have your own enclosure. You could use, I've had people use all kinds of things, but the most common is your shower stall.
mm.
It's just the right size. You can hang up this unit. It's basically 24 inches wide, 12 inches tall. It sits at from the wall to where it comes out to you, about 8 inches depth. So it's portable. You don't have to worry about building something in. It's inexpensive enough that you can get one and update, just upgrade your house. Um, but the enclosure can be, like I said, anything from your shower stall to an empty refrigerator box. It just has to be big enough for the unit to hang on and for you to sit in front of it so that you can turn like the rotisserie chicken. So you're like, this sounds really weird. You wouldn't want lights constantly trying to whip up your circulatory system from all sides all at once. You want it to kind of, right, you want the energy to absorb into your body, increase circulation over here, and it's going to get hot on your skin. And then you turn, allow this to then regulate while it works now on your kidneys and your back and any other muscles, pains, and aches you've got going on back there. And then when that gets hot, you turn again. And so this process is very manual, but it's inexpensive and it works. I mean, what's better than cheap and it works?
Yeah. Well, Obviously, that's going to be the best anyway. I love that. And so, do you have a story about one particular client that you worked with that whatever and we haven't gotten into all the modalities that you have. I would love to touch on it maybe when you tell a story about a client that you really had an impact on their life as an example.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you want to, are you talking about the sauna in particular or any of the
No, any of your
modalities?
modalities. And I'm going to assume that the sauna can be used in conjunction with everything else that you do, right?
Yeah, and it's the hair analysis lets me know if or not this is a good time for you to implement. And if you have cancer, skin cancer in particular, it will irritate that skin cancer. So those are the only two instances where it's not good. Even pregnant women can use it, children can use it. My cat loves to jump up on the little stool next to me, and she just sits there and loves the heat. So I have a couple of great stories. One just recent on Friday. It's in a call with a woman who was complaining of lifelong family dysregulation. That's the best word I can give it. It's almost like somebody struck a chord somewhere in her whole family tree and it just made all of the leaves fall off the tree. It was
Mm.
very troubling internally. They could feel this vibration, all of them could feel it. But for them, it was normal because they were born with it.
Mhm.
So we did a phone call. This is one of the remote sessions as part of what I call essential love. And right before the session, I received spirit message that said, there's an ancestral interference you need to address. Okay, so I get on the phone with her and I said, there's something in the ancestral line. We'll have to suss it out and figure out what's going on. And she goes, yeah, I thought I got the same message. Now she's a shaman, so she was also receiving spirit guidance. It's very cool when your story is backed up by someone else.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
we get into this portion where we're ready to address this ancestral wound. What is it going on? As I'm going up the ancestors line and I'm talking to angels and guides and her guides and my guides, and it's all a big party. And I hear mental illness, fifth generation back. So the ancestor, and I go, did you have an ancestor that had mental illness? And she goes, yeah, I did, in fact. So I had spirit reach out to this ancestor and just give a communication. Hey, there's something going on with your energy. And her response was so funny. And spirit often responds to me with humor. She responded like, "Oh, I thought I turned that off like it was the stove." Like,
I love it. Oh my gosh.
so the woman that I'm on the phone with, she'd had that energetic resonance that wasn't setting right with her. She wanted to like always escape life. She's like constant, not wanting to kill herself, but just wanting, to use some sort of medication to self-medicate and be out. And son was having problems being focused and, it looked like schizophrenic break. There was constantly something going on. And that's just the two of them. And what I'm not even talking about the extended family. So we finished this. She turns off the stove, so to speak. And I could feel, we both went, oh, whew, oh, what a relief. The energetic flow went from feeling like it was a roaring rapids to a trickling river. And within minutes, her own system regulated. I followed up with her a couple of days later. Her son's no longer doing um, these dysregulated activities in the house, the constant walking and the I'm not focused and I can't hold a job. All of these things came to a complete halt. And she's lived with peace and she's now noticing, she's calling all of her relatives. They're all experiencing this. So you heal one
Yeah.
and it heals the legacy and the ancestral line ahead of it. So that's my favorite work is to see the expanse
And this is
of
while I believe that it's also science backed because I work with the unconscious mind and going back to ancestral wounds and traumas and past lives and everything. It can be very, as everybody likes this word, woo woo. And so you telling that story really opened up another type of modality and method that you use, which is really honing in on spirit guides and
Yeah.
the universe and so on and so forth to give you some answers. So it's the holistic, more spiritual side of your healing process, whereas the hair and that and even the sauna is more of a scientific based and the mineral based. So you're exactly right. I mean, you're describing how you put the two of them together. You have a second one that you wanted to talk about. It sounded like you had a
Oh, yeah,
little
there was
different.
another one, a little different. I use Reiki and some channeling of different guides to work on the body. And during one of the last healing retreats that I did on a cruise ship in Alaska, one of the ladies showed up. She says, "I go, "Oh, what's going on for you? We've got an hour to work on the whole body. Like, give me your story." And so she showed me. She goes, I can't pull my arm up higher than this." It was just at she couldn't
With
raise her arm up over her head. And I said, okay. And what else? Low back pain, always has had that for years. Right knee problems, like all of these issues. And okay, great. So I get to work, and about an hour later, we're done. And I tell her, rest, don't overdo it.
on a
Just take a
cruise.
minute on a cruise. Yeah. Well, yeah, she did. She took the time to just reflect and journal and be kind of cozy in her own space. And the next morning, I see her again. She comes kind of up and behind me and turns around and faces me. And I'm like, what is this? This is so weird. She goes like this, just doesn't say a word. She just goes, whoop, and holds her
And
arm straight up. Yeah. So she goes, my low back pain is gone. I feel lighter. And she says, I can do that. Now, same woman, 2 weeks later, she said, she reported back, I haven't had a clear picture of what the service was I was to offer to my clientele and what should be on my website. In this next breath, she said, and my website is done, and I know exactly what my offer is and to who. So clearing out one energy
mhm.
can open up space for yet another, especially if you've experienced creative constipation. We'll
Oh,
put
I
it
love
that
that.
way.
Oh my gosh. Everybody on that's listening is probably going, "Oh, that just struck a chord."
Yeah. Yeah. I hate to say this on the backs of that. I'm the enema. Like it's we're providing the energy that then releases whatever's holding back what's next for you. And that sounds very vague because the possibilities are enormous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't even know when you're meeting someone, you're just asking them for their story. And
Yeah.
then it's leading you because, like I said, you have, I mean, if you look on her website, you have like 9 different certifications that you've got. So you have a lot of, as I like to call for us coaches, tools in your toolkit. And by
Mhm.
talking to the person, you'll understand what it is that you need to use with them. And especially having, I also like to say, the universe, as long as you know your why, the universe has your how. Right. So even in the beginning of this journey for you, it sounded like, okay, this was what I wanted to do, but I'm going to allow the universe to bring me the people that will help me with each of the steps because I trust that I'm going to meet the right people and they're going to take me on the right journey. And that's exactly what you did.
Well, eventually I came to that understanding, but at first I was very angry, very upset, very, let's call it dysregulated and impatient about where's my person I'm supposed to learn from? How come I don't have a master, so to speak? So I questioned what was going on. And finally, Spirit gave me the answer of you're not going to learn from just one person because you're becoming a master in your own right. I can't say that I'm a master now. I just know I'm on my way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just the fact that you were open to hearing, because a lot of time the messages will be sent and you will not be open to hearing because your mind is thinking cluttered and you have to be in some sense of silence, right? And quiet and stillness in order to hear the messages, but you heard it and
Yeah.
you took action or no action in a sense, in a way, to allow things to happen and come to you. So, those of you that are listening, yes, everything is very good. We do, and I'm sure you do too. If there is something seriously wrong with you and you need to take a medication, do that. However, question, think about it. It's your body. And Eva is letting you know that there are other alternative ways to heal your body. And I love that. Is there any other? from what you do at the Elevate Institute, is there anything else that you want people to know that should be how they think about their body
Yeah.
that should lead them into this more holistic journey?
I heard a statistic the other day about how 95% of women, especially women who are keeping their eye on social media, they do not believe the viability of alternative medicine when they see it advertised, if you will, if somebody's sharing it. It's because they want a white coat. They want a doctor to tell you this is for
What's
real
the
and
what's the
viable.
percentage again? I want you to say that again.
Like 95%. 95%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of people who don't believe. And I don't know what a person would need to hear other than doctors aren't trained in this. They're trained in medicine. And if you need medicine, go to them for medicine. But when they tell you we don't know or you're stuck with this, why are you believing them?
And also, there are other cultures, there are other places in this world that have don't use medicine, that actually use the methods of holistic healing, of energy healing, of other methods, or plants and things from our Mother Earth, because most of our drugs even come from, let's say, the
They're
Amazon
mimic.
for rainforest
Yes.
and that kind of things, and they derive, and then we make it man-made, and then we kind of mess it all up. But there are ways and other ways to do it. It's just in our country, pharmaceutical companies make a lot of money from pharmaceuticals.
They
And
do. And
so
it's been
it's,
advertised.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there is there's been a way of kind of putting us all into a cult in a sense to believe that only those that have that doctor title and the medicine that goes with it that can help you. And I love the
Yeah.
fact that I think the thing that people should come across from this interview is to question what's happening to you and look for alternative methods like at the Elevate Institute, which is what you head up. So I'm going to ask first before you people hold on because she's going to tell you how to get a hold of her. But your favorite quote, mantra, or positive affirmation, because I love to ask that of all of my clients.
I, I think we hit the nail on the head with that one. It's the you live, you're the only one who lives in your body. And I want you to listen to yourself when you are not feeling good. You're not feeling good. Don't let anybody tell you it's okay when it's not.
Listen to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even your spirit and your mind at the same time, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can people reach you, Eva?
Best ways to go to the website, and that's theelevateinstitute.com. There's so many things to digest and consume there, including an essential energy quotient test. You can take that, it'll pop up and say, would you like to take the test? Say, yes, I would. And enter your email and answer the questions, and you'll be rewarded with a test value that tells you where your energy is. How much do you have to heal?
And then if they want to actually do the hair test and get a hold of you to have a true evaluation and, a path forward, is that all on the website, easily identifiable?
all
Okay.
it's all on the website. Yeah, there's ways to get started. There's the pricing page has a free calendar to get a hold of me, as well as when you take the EEQ, the Essential Energy Quotient Test, there is an invitation to get on my calendar there too.
Yeah, I'm asking a little bit more information because obviously I'm very interested in this. So I wanted everybody to understand how this process is because you have so much to offer. And I really feel like you're doing really almost God's work to help people heal. Because
I
we
think that's
have a really, especially in the US, I mean, other countries might be a little bit better, but we have a really messed up healthcare system. And in order to think outside that box, there are other alternatives that you can have. Again, I'm not discrediting doctors, surgeries, important things that if you have an illness that you do have to take care of. But also look behind the scenes and listen to your
yeah.
body and look at other ways that can help you get better. Thank you so much, Eva, for being on my podcast, the Ladies Who Leap podcast. I really appreciate it. I love your
Thank you,
messaging and I
Elizabeth.
love the Elevate Institute and what you do. Thank you. And remember, everybody, to like, subscribe, follow, and comment. And if you have a wonderful leap story to tell, please get a hold of me. I am always open and love to hear all the stories that everyone has so that it can inspire others. Thanks. You've been listening to the Ladies Who Leap podcast. Thank you again for joining in. And please remember, once again, like, subscribe, follow, and let me know if you have a leap story to tell. Have a great day.